Albert Einstein famously said, "Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous." Here are 10 freaky coincidences that happened in the WWE. Number 1. Karma bus or coincidence? Stone Cold Steve Austin's fans are well aware of the botched piledriver that took years off the Texas Rattlesnake's career, but they might not know Austin did the same thing to a wrestler himself. In 1997, Owen Hart miscued a piledriver on Austin at 1997 SummerSlam, injuring the bionic redneck's neck and putting him on the shelf until that year's Survivor Series. However, Austin did something similar when he wrestled Masahiro Chono in New Japan back in September 1992 at Japan's Yokohama Arena. There, Austin hit a sit-out tombstone piledriver on Chono, botching the move and injuring the Japanese superstar. Chono suffered compressed discs in his neck, but would continue wrestling for the next 2 decades. Number 2. Edge breaks Jose Estrada's neck on his debut match. Adam Copeland's high-risk ring style had some fans surprised that he lasted as long as he did. Whether he was smashing through tables, diving off ladders, or repeatedly jarring his neck with his finisher the spear, Edge inflicted tremendous punishment on his body night after night, eventually forcing him to retire early. Coincidentally, Edge's first match saw him injure his opponent with the same injury that would later force him to hang up his own boots. On the 22nd June 1998 edition of Raw, Edge was working a short but fast-paced match against Jose Estrada Jr. that saw Edge hit a somersault plancha. Unfortunately for this member of Savio Vega's Los Boricuas stable, Edge caught his foot on the top of Estrada's head, breaking his neck. The referee was forced to count Estrada out, as the superstar was too injured to return for the planned finish, getting hit with the execution and being pinned. The future WWE Hall of Famer showed his professionalism by reportedly calling Estrada every week until he returned to action. Coincidentally, Edge was forced to end his career due to numerous neck and spine injuries. Number 3. Edge played the same role as Jose Estrada Jr.'s father. The coincidences between Edge and Jose Estrada Jr. don't end there, however. Jose's dad, Jose Estrada Sr., teamed up with WWF enhancement talent Jose Luis Rivera during the late 1980s, donning masks and bright yellow jumpsuits as the jobber team known as Los Conquistadors. Los Conquistadors' greatest success was at 1988 Survivor Series, where they were the last remaining duo on their team of 5 tag teams, falling to the powers of pain. Coincidentally, Edge and Christian donned Los Conquistadors outfits during their feud with the Hardy Boys. There, Edge and Christian had been barred from future WWF Tag Team title matches against the Hardys, leading to Edge and Christian winning the Battle Royal to obtain a title match. Los Conquistadors defeated Hardys for the WWF Tag Team titles, with fans suspecting Edge and Christian had pulled a fast one. However, video evidence showed Edge and Christian meeting Los Conquistadors, casting doubt on who was under the masks. Edge and Christian then challenged them on the next night on Raw, falling to the team which was revealed to be Matt and Jeff Hardy. Number 4. The 2005 Royal Rumble's Fantastic Four. 2005's Royal Rumble saw the fluky ending where the 2 remaining competitors, John Cena and Batista, accidentally eliminated each other. The original plan was supposed to have Batista hang on to the rope and win the Royal Rumble, but fell out with Cena instead, forcing Mr. McMahon to storm the ring, tearing both of his quads in the process, and restarting the match so Batista could win. However, 2005's also noteworthy in that the final 4 would all go in to win the Rumble in subsequent years. That's right, Rey Mysterio won in 2006, Edge won in 2010, Batista in 2014, and not to be outdone, John Cena would win in 2008 and 2013. Number 5. The Shield debuted and broke up in the same arena. The Shield debuted at the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis on the 18th November 2012, interfering in the triple threat match at Survivor Series between WWE Champion CM Punk, John Cena and Ryback. The collective of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose became one of wrestling's hottest acts, eventually turning face and battling Evolution's Triple H, Batista and Randy Orton. When Evolution proved they weren't up to the task, Triple H went with Plan B on the 2nd June 2014 in his quest to destroy the Hounds of Justice. That night on Raw, Seth Rollins betrayed his teammates, turning heel in the process and associating himself with the Authority. Coincidentally, that betrayal happened at Indianapolis's Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Number 6. The Shield put each other over on the way to the top. When the Shield broke up, fans wondered what was ahead for the team in singles competition. Each member of the Shield ultimately became world champions, not surprising given their previous success. What is surprising is that each Shield member defeated another Shield member to win their first world championship. Seth Rollins became the first Shield member to win a world championship, cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania 31 during a match between WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, with Rollins pinning Reigns to get his first taste of a World Singles Championship. Reigns became the second Shield member to get the gold, competing in the tournament at 2015 Survivor Series and overcoming Dean Ambrose in the finals to win the WWE World Heavyweight strap. Sadly for Reigns, Sheamus cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, defeating Reigns and spoiling Reigns' victory. On the 19th June 2016, Dean Ambrose became the last member of the Shield to win a World Championship, defeating Seth Rollins after cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase he'd won the same night. Coincidentally, Rollins had just defeated Roman Reigns for the belt during the main event. Number 7. Paul Bearer was an actual mortician before entering the WWF. The WWE Universe knows that Vince McMahon loved giving wrestlers gimmicks, whether it was the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, King Harley Race, or Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Sometimes things were easy for Vince, such as when he signed former prison guard Ray Traylor and turned him into the Big Boss Man, a brutal wrestler with a penchant for dishing out post-match punishment to his opponents with a nightstick. When Vince McMahon brought in Bill Moody to manage The Undertaker, the future Paul Bearer told McMahon and his crony Pat Patterson about his prior career as a mortician. They couldn't believe it, as this was after they had given him the role of a mortician in the WWF, not knowing about his previous career. In fact, Moody kept his mortician's license as a backup in case his career as a wrestler and later as a manager didn't work out. According to Pat Patterson's memoir Accepted, he and McMahon laughed about Moody's past, convincing him he wouldn't get signed. The opposite turned out and Moody became an essential part of The Undertaker's rise to the top. Number 8. 9 years later. The Immortal Hulk Hogan was the WWF's foundation during its first 9 WrestleManias, participating in 8 out of the 9 main events, and helping not only to make the first event a smashing success, but to sustain it for years to come. However, Hogan took a leave from the WWF, heading to rival WCW, where he stayed for several years. Coincidentally, Hogan would return to the WWE 9 years later, working his iconic match against The Rock at WrestleMania 18. Number 9. 12 years later. Consider the fact that Bret the Hitman Hart wrestled at 12 WrestleManias before leaving the WWF under stormy circumstances at 1997 Survivor Series, with few believing he'd ever return to the company. However, 12 years later, Hart returned to WrestleMania, working at the 26th edition of the Showcase of the Immortals in a match against Vince McMahon. Hart's return match would see him get storyline revenge on McMahon for the Montreal Screwjob. And number 10. Chris Benoit and Daniel Bryan's Eerie World title wins. Chris Benoit is still recognized as one of wrestling's most sound technical wrestlers, a man who overcame a small stature to become a main event player. Coincidentally, Daniel Bryan excelled as a mat technician and he too overcame small stature to become a main event success. While this may seem like a weak coincidence, the following will blow your mind. Not only did both men use the flying headbutt as a signature move, but they also used the crossface. Coincidentally, they main evented WrestleMania in a triple threat match. But now things get really bizarre, as both Benoit and Bryan were put through a table thanks to a 2-on-1 attack at Mania. They both worked ladder matches at their next WrestleMania, and ultimately, both men's careers ended due to effects of concussions and brain injuries. Although the coincidences thankfully end there, as Bryan was able to return to the squared circle. Well guys, there you have it, 10 freaky coincidences that happened in the WWE. What do you think of the coincidences mentioned in this list? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.